Talking about YC startups, where you worked, how did you get all these internships? What are the skills needed for your current role? So you have kind of worked in ML related roles only.
Yep.
Since in your internship and in your current role.
So I think the key thing, more than technical skills, I think the key thing is adaptability. You need to be, obviously you need to be well versed with your fundamentals.
What would be the top website you would suggest to apply for jobs in startups?
Sure.
Every student dreams to crack an internship in college, but 90% of the students not able to do it. Today we have with us Suraj, who have cracked multiple internships while in college, and that too YC startup internships. Now that's a big question to each one of you, that how someone can get into startups. Big tech companies are one thing, and you know the process, you know the hiring challenges, but getting into YC startup is a question mark to most of you. And in today's video, we are going to unclutter everything about getting into YC startup, getting an internship in startups itself, and how you can build your career in machine learning and AI, because he is working as a machine learning engineer right now. So let's get started without any further ado with your introduction. Please help with your introduction, Suraj.
Sure. Hey guys, I'm Suraj. I work as a machine learning engineer at a company called Balkan ID. Apart from core engineering, I also like to dabble with sports like cricket and so on. But when it comes to my work itself, I like building things and working on new things, which is why I've chosen the startup ladder at the moment.
So Suraj, I have seen your profile. I was looking at his resume, and it's a 2-page resume. I can show it on the screen also. He has done like tons of internships, and he is not from a tier 1 college or even a tier 2 college.
I would say it's a tier 3.
Yeah, I would not talk about colleges because then the colleges put a strike or something. But he's from VIT, right?
Yeah.
So he's not from a tier 1 IIT or NIT, but he was able to crack tons of internships. Please let us know what all internships have you cracked, and what was the stipend associated with those internships?
Sure. So I think I started my internships journey during my second year. I worked as a Flutter developer in a team, and I didn't get paid a lot that time. It was mostly around 5,000, I think.
It was with the company?
It was actually a part of a program called the Cisco Thinkubator program, where teams used to build products, and I interned for a team which was a part of that Cisco Thinkubator program.
Okay.
So it started there as a Flutter developer. It's very different from what I do today, obviously. After that, I worked as, I think my big break would be me working as an entrepreneur in residence at this YC company called Strive Math. Yeah, so that paid me quite a bit. It was close around, I was paid hourly, but it was close to around 80K to 1 lakh per month. And after that, I also worked in another YC company called Speakify. And here I worked on a more technical role, which was as an ML intern. And I worked on that for a short while. And then later I worked as a research intern at IIT Bombay. Mm-hmm. Now, again, you don't get paid too much. It was around 15,000, but again, the credibility and everything.
True that.
Right? And yeah, post that, I interned at the company that I'm working in currently, which is Balkan ID. Mm-hmm. And I've been working full time there as well.
So, talking about YC startups, where you worked, how did you get all these internships? Let's start with IIT Bombay internship, because I have shared the complete calendar about IIT internships from IITs. How did you got one?
Sure. So actually, with IIT, I knew that I wanted to do a research internship because my plan at the time was to do a master's right after college. I had reached out to a few professors from IITs, but I didn't get a lot of responses. Luckily, at the same time, IIT Bombay had put out an internship announcement for this program whose name I'm forgetting, but it's funded by the national government. It's for students in from other colleges to come and work in IITs. I'm sure you would have shared content about that, or if not, we'll put that in the description.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, and then I applied through that, and while apart from applying, I also reached out to the prof individually as well. And I think that helped because I got around 2 to 3 rounds of interviews right after that. And that definitely helped. One thing that was, I think, unique about this internship was it was actually a 6-month internship for 4th year students. I worked on this in my 3rd year.
Oh, wow.
In my 3rd year, 2nd sem. And it was still a 6-month internship, and I worked there physically also. So
Nice.
that they had one small point saying that it's open for the 3rd years as well, and luckily they stood by that, and
You
I
got
applied.
that internship.
Yeah, I didn't expect it at all.
And what about YC startups? Because YC startup is something which, YC, which is Y Combinator, is an incubation hub which incubates startups, and those startups hire people. And you got 2 internships in those startups. So where did you apply? How did you apply? And what was the process also?
Sure. So again, I wanted to get an internship at a startup because I knew that at least for the foreseeable time in my college, I wanted to work in startups. I applied at workataStartup.com, which is a website by YC for YC companies, where YC companies of the current batch and previous batches can put out their jobs, right? And it's actually very, very interesting because you have one common application for all of those companies, and the questions they ask are very unique. So what you need to do to stand out there is answer like a maverick. Try to focus on obviously your skills and everything, but the way you answer those questions should make you seem entrepreneurial, which is what these YC startups look for.
Correct.
So I think I did that, and the another like great thing about this website is it works in 2 ways, right? You can apply to companies after you create your profile. You can apply to companies on the portal, and even those companies can look at your profile and reach out to you.
Correct.
So the way it worked out for me was a person from Strive Math, the CEO itself, actually reached out to me, and he asked me if I'd like to do an interview with them. So.
Got it. And if I talk about what are the skills needed for your current role? So you have kind of worked in ML related roles only.
Yep.
Since in your internship and in your current role. What are the major skills someone needs to have to become an ML engineer?
Sure. I think ML is a field that's being disrupted continuously.
Correct.
Right. So I think the key thing, more than technical skills, I think the key thing is adaptability. You need to be, obviously you need to be well versed with your fundamentals, but beyond that, you need to be really adaptable to know what's really happening, what's the latest thing that's happening, how can I learn quickly enough to leverage that in, let's say, my projects or my current work or whatever. So I think adaptability is key. Apart from that, like technical skills, I would say core understanding of how, like, some basic machine learning algorithms, and beyond that, it's up to your interest. It's the more interested you are, pick a niche and then go deeper.
So if I talk about, like, let's break it down to maybe programming language which is needed, maybe the frameworks, maybe some databases or some platforms, or could be like how much I've heard that statistics and mathematics is also required for ML. So how much, if you can break it down?
Sure. So again, I would say linear algebra and statistics is great to learn deeply and understand deeply during the first or second year of your college, whenever you have the chance to take it. Simply because if you want to pursue a career as an ML engineer, you want to understand basic machine learning algorithms well. And the only way you can understand them well is if you understand the math behind it.
Correct.
And if you learn it from that first principles perspective, it's great. And to do that, you need to have a base in these, right?
Correct.
And the second thing is, it's not just about ML fundamentals. It's also about, let's say, something new comes out, right? Like generative AI. And for example, I work in GraphML. Understanding linear algebra and statistics really helps me read the latest research papers and then kind of understand new methods, point out its flaws, see if it's applicable to me, can I actually do something with it. So yeah, being able to think about these critically will require you to get your math right, and I think that's important.
What about programming languages or
for when it comes to applied ML, which is what I think most of us will do if you're coming right out of undergrad. You want to be good in Python at least. Python is the most popular language for machine learning, right? So you want to be good at that. Beyond that, if you're building systems for production, again, it'll vary from place to place. So in my company, for example, we use Go along with Python.
I see.
So I picked it up on the job.
I see.
But other things, I think you want to know basic OOPS concepts, all of that, because they translate through across languages and frameworks.
Correct. And what would be the platforms you will suggest everyone to find startup jobs? Because he was telling me about the stipends he was getting, or the package he got at his current company. It was one of the highest in his college. So it's not like startups don't pay much. Startups do pay much. And since he was very passionate about the field, so he is enjoying his work also. So coming back to the question, what would be the top website you would suggest to apply for jobs in startups?
Sure. I think first you want to build up some credibility, and to do that you want to get a break, right? And this YC's work at a startup.com was what helped me get that break. Like I was saying earlier, I got a YC internship there at Strive Math as an entrepreneur in residence, and later another YC company picked me up because I had experience in that other YC startup, right? And later on, even the IIT internship obviously helped, and my current company picked me up because I had a research background and I'd worked at YC startups, which is great for the brand. But to do all of this, you need that first big break, right? So that is the hardest thing to get. But I think being ambitious, trying to get in these kind of platforms definitely helps.
And one more interesting thing to note here is he's not that active on competitive programming platforms. He's not that active on LeetCode or have done like 500 LeetCode questions, something like that. But he was very passionate about his domain since the beginning. So can you spread some light there? Like,
sure.
Have you felt FOMO, people doing tons of questions on LeetCode?
Sure. Actually, my case is a bit interesting because I wasn't planning on working right immediately. So all I was doing with my internships during my first few years was to sort of stat pad my resume such that I am good from a research point of view, and I've worked on interesting problems enough so that I'll have a good enough SOP for my master's.
Correct.
So I never thought about LeetCode for the time at least, because it wasn't important to me, right? I was very focused on like what I wanted. But as it turned out, life has surprises. And during the summer, I got a break at the company that I'm working at currently, right? So I worked as an intern there, and I liked what I did a lot, which is why I ended up working in that company. Great environment, excellent project and all of that. So like I said, I think it's important to stick to your guns and know what you want and then focus on that. In startups, these rules of DSA don't really apply in a lot of places. It depends on the place again. I was in a place where they cared about development more. They cared about how you think more and stuff. So it depends on the opportunity. But I would say stay focused on whatever your goal is and things should work out.
So the reason I asked this question, because sometimes people put comments that the person you have chosen for the podcast have tons of amazing LeetCode or competitive programming profile, or the person is very active on social media, very popular, so you might be getting those opportunities. But it's not like that. He's not at all. He's not someone who creates content around tech or anything. He was just focused on his skills. And he was very passionate about getting into machine learning and stuff. And similar, you guys can also do. He will share all the resources that he has used. I'll be putting all of them in the description and the pinned comment. If you still have doubts, you can connect with Suraj on LinkedIn or any other social media handle that he'll provide to me. Thank you all for your time. If you still have questions, please comment them down below. I will meet you in the next video. Till then, bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you, guys.